Call this council regular session to order. It is Wednesday, December 18th. The time is 7 p.m. Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, we'll go ahead and open it up for visitor comments. If you'd like to come up and make a comment, please state your name for the record and keep it to 3 minutes or less. Who would like to speak?
Brady Preheim. So the first thing is your next item on the agenda, which is the proclamation. Does not make me very happy because literally no one I voted for won. But I guess that's what we have to live with. Certainly I've had my differences with the mayor, practically all the council, but you will be missed. Even though there are times I hate you, but yeah, that's just the way it works. But I am looking forward to picking you up on your offer right after the first. I want you on my show. We'll see what secrets you spill. And then I do want to complain a little bit about my public records request. I know you're working on it. And I'm not mad at Lisa, but I am mad at the process. The whole point of the tourism contract was to bring new transparency. And why I've had a request for over 60 days now. I think it was October 15th when I first put in my request for the records for the tourism bills, and I still have not gotten them. And I don't know what the delay is, and I keep hearing that it has to go to the attorney. I think that those records should be released. It's pretty simple. All I've asked to see is the bank statements. It's a public account. So you decided to do that to make it public. I don't know why it has to go to the attorney. So I'd like to get my request completed and filled. And I really want to see the police reports on the chief. I will say that there's a huge difference already in the feel of the police. And it would be nice to have that resolved so we could have a permanent replacement, because the change in attitude in the police department, I think, is substantial and was needed. It's nice to have a chief that's now here in town, knows how to find the city. It's a great improvement.
Thank you.
I'm gonna make it quick. So Jennifer Massey, St. Helens, and Rick, I just actually want to say thank you for the last 8 years. You have made a mark on this city. There is no doubt that you love this city. And so I, for one, appreciate that. And, you know, after one of the podcasts, it was stated between you, myself, and Steve, that no matter what the results were, that we were all three still committed to, you know, helping with the city any way possible. So I look forward to your tribal knowledge and still collaborating with you, and hope that you're going to be involved in every capacity that you possibly can. So I just want to say sincerely thank you for the last 8 years.
Thank you.
Evening, Dave Lauritsen. I'm the business owner of Crooked Creek Brewery, property owner of property down in the Riverfront District. And again, just bringing up the point again of the lack of parking and trying to get the street open. Since I was in here this morning, and sorry I couldn't stay for the entire meeting. I'm running a business, so I had to chat out after a public comment period. But since I was in here earlier today, the fence has been moved down 3 parking spaces. So I appreciate that if that you guys conversation with that. So there is some progress. There's still a long ways to go. There's a lot of parking missing in downtown that is greatly needed. This afternoon, we had a customer in who was in for the first time in several months, had a stroke, and they just have not been able to get here. And are unwilling to take the risk of, you know, moving a wheelchair across the situation that we've had up until recently. So there is some improvement, but again, there's a long ways to go. You know, we put out this petition And, I thought maybe it'd be valuable to read off the names. I don't think we need to bore you with that, but just to summarize, we got signatures from mostly residents of St. Helens, a lot of people from surrounding communities, which means our business is bringing in outside dollars. When those people can't get to our business, that means you guys are losing out on the revenues from those outside dollars that are coming into our city. So just another argument, there's some pretty simple solutions to get the city open to the end of First Street down to Tualatin. The asphalt aprons, are a pretty simple solution. We happen to have a lot of contacts, that are in the paving industry, and everyone's kind of shaking their head at the arguments that are coming up as to why they haven't been able to open that street. So just again, we're really urging you guys to reconsider and see if we can get a solution to get that open, because it's affecting all of the businesses in the downtown area. And we would really like to have our parking back. See, I'll just read you the petition if I can get through it in the next 48 seconds. Problem, City of St. Helens will not meet its own end of the year deadline to finish phase 1A of the Riverfront project development, which includes finishing paving South First Street. Due to time and weather constraints, only the base pavement layer was able to be put down. The top layer that was intended to go down immediately after will now not be done until sometime in spring. Second problem, without the top layer of pavement, the manhole covers stick up 1 to 2 inches above the roadway. As a result, the Public Works Director claims the street is not prepared for vehicular traffic and is the reason for completely closing the road, meaning the loss of approximately 35 spaces to our community for several more months. Problem 3, the city, specifically the Public Works Director, is unwilling to implement a proven solution, which it has already employed on the adjacent block. Those aprons are already in. Will you allow me to finish, or should I have someone else finish reading it?
Go ahead.
Okay. So those aprons have already been put in on the other end of First Street. The street is open for traffic. South First Street between Cowlitz and Wilpom is in the same condition, yet has already been reopened. The only difference is that the temporary asphalt collars that have been built up around the manhole covers with a little bit of asphalt patch. Problem 4, the lack of adequate parking has always been an issue in downtown area, and the loss of these additional spaces has a significant impact on all businesses, residents, and guests of our town. Failure to recognize and provide a simple solution for next 4 to 6 months or until weather gets better is just beyond comprehension. The redevelopment project, as constructions often can be, and we understand, has been a major disturbance to the downtown businesses and residents for well over a year. Now it could be another half year until the work is completed. Reducing the impacts to the city's priority. Community shouldn't have to endure unnecessary disruption that continues due to the city's missed deadline when there's a simple, obvious solution to reduce these impacts. The solution would be to put a solution the city has put into practice just a few feet away to resolve the exact same problem. The simple solution to reopen the remainder of South First all the way to Tualatin would be to install temporary asphalt aprons around the remaining manhole covers to adequately protect the surface for traffic, allowing the remainder of South First Street to reopen for downtown parking access. And this only went out about 2 days ago. We were patiently waiting for the city to respond after they said they would, after we would hear some follow-up about the meeting, and that didn't happen. So we went and put this out. So over 2 days, we amassed, 150 or so signatures in support of that, including, CET director. And they've got they're one of the people that has many contacts, in the construction and planning world that, again, are just kind of shaking their head that there hasn't been a solution to this. So again, thank you for listening. Sorry to take up more time than I was allotted, and thank you for your patience.
Is it on the heels of what you just said?
Exactly.
Okay, can I just say one thing?
Sure.
I will
State your
say
name.
that-
Go ahead. Come up. Your name for the record.
Okay, so Tawny Osterman, I'm a resident of downtown St. Helens, and I wanted to share that I have personally spoken with, like 3 or 4 different people through the last several months who have stated that they are staying away from downtown because it is a mess. And people that have frequented Plymouth Pub, the brewery, and they're staying away. So I just wanted to. Thank you, sir.
Hi, I'm David Nelson. I'm a resident of St. Helens. I live about 5 doors away from you in Elk Ridge Estates. So first also, let me thank you for your service the last 8 years. First time I met you was down here for an issue with zoning where they were trying to put low-income housing right adjacent to our neighborhood. And we brought a lot of people down and that didn't happen. So thank you. I'm hoping we can do the same community type effort here. On top of the points that Dave made in his, also by the project not finishing and not striping, people don't know how to park down there on an unstriped. So we've lost a lot more than just the spots that were there. People are parking incorrectly, parallel parking when they should be parking curbside. I'm glad to see that they did move the fence. There is a small solution, as Dave alluded to, putting one additional apron on one manhole gives you 80 extra feet. And those barricades could be moved 80 feet by doing one manhole cover. I was in the Navy for 20 years. I worked at Intel now. I've worked with very large communities. I've worked with small communities, been on homeowner boards. And I'm a resident here, but more importantly, I want to be a community member. I spent my weekends during Halloween Town as a volunteer at the sewer treatment plant, allowing business people and the residents the back access that many of them didn't even know existed, so that there was very little intrusion on all of the public that had access. Echoing this other statements, I have many of my neighbors that did not want to come down during Halloween Town or to the Christmas event because of all the construction. They are saying they are staying away, and they are very happy to go to Scappoose to the lodge instead of coming downtown. Over the last 6-8 weeks, I've also filled out at least 5 of the I Dig St. Helens cards, trying to make sure that I do frequent all of the businesses down there, right? And I didn't turn them in for the coffee cup or the bag, was just to show my support. And if anybody's following those metrics, that there are people that want to be part of the community and want this. So I really think that a solution, a viable solution, an easy solution is on the table. It's not going to be permanent. It's not going to finish the road, but it will allow at least another 30 parking spots down there to Crooked Creek, Plymouth Pub, Klondike, the Cupcake Shop, Endless Records. And I'm excited about the new coffee shop. We can all come down and use. Thank you.
Mr. Mayor, members of the council, I'm Matt Freitag, Coley County resident, also a frequent visitor of downtown. So work that's been done so far looks great. I'm very excited to get it done, and we can see the vision coming together. We know it's going to be a lot of work. So I know it takes a lot of work to get things done. I work in construction and know that things don't just happen like that. So there are steps needed to get there, but it is going to be a great opportunity. But as the work happens, I ask that you have your contractor prioritize pedestrian access, especially for pedestrians with limited mobility. My dad used to be in a wheelchair. He was in a walker. We could not go places. It was a big event to try to get up the stairs to Klondike. I couldn't deal with gravel on the sidewalks to get him there so that he could use all of his energy to walk up those 10 stairs. So people definitely are having impacts and can't get there if there's gravel everywhere, signs, if it's not clear how to get there. So please prioritize that. It also looks like, we need to prioritize parking spaces. So people need to be able to park relatively close to businesses to be able to access them. It seems like right now with the closures, with the reasons why the parking spots can't be opened, it seems like there's not a balance of customer needs along with a perfect project. We're not going to have a perfect project, and that's okay. But some of the reasons given for why the pavement needs to be preserved or why we can't put the top lift on there or do the aprons seem unnecessarily risk averse. We can make changes to get that done. So I guess I just ask again that you take all of the needs of the community into account as you're providing guidance to the Public Works Director, to the city engineer, and yes, to the contractor. Thank you for your time.
Thanks, everyone. Dana Lathrop. I'd like to comment on two different topics tonight, and I would like you to separate me completely one topic from another. And so first, I would like to discuss a topic on behalf of the Parks and Trails Commission. I would like to approach you as a commissioner for the city of St. Helens and request that you so politely consider putting it on your goals for the upcoming years to consider the Milton Creek project as we discussed earlier today. All right, second topic, as a citizen of Columbia County and as a business owner on First Street here in downtown St. Helens, I would like to make some comments regarding the construction projects and the impacts not only to the local residents, but to the business owners as well. I understand the complexity of the construction project. I understand the long-term benefits, the city of St. Helens, and ultimately the long-term benefits to all of us business owners who can make it through to the end of this particular project. I will say that I've been a long-time advocate on behalf of the city and on the projects that are going on because I see the long-term benefits to our community for these projects being successful and what they can bring to our community. I will say, as a young business in this community, it has been incredibly impactful to have long-term construction that seems to make progress, then backstep, then progress, then backstep for the last several years. It has impacted my business more so within the last calendar year than in the times prior. With the construction going on, as others have echoed tonight, people are no longer wanting to come down to our district. I particularly benefit due to the fact that we are for the most part, appointment only type of a business. But my business has suffered this year due to people saying they don't want to come down to the downtown. I foresee that becoming more impactful over the next year as you guys begin to make more progress at the intersection where my business is, which is over at the end of First Street and St. Helens. I advocated earlier this year during Halloween Town to find a constructive alternative to access to the downtown businesses. Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, John Walsh, for listening to me. You know, I feel you know that my heart is in the right place when I come to any of you and request your ear, because I speak on behalf of good progress for the city and the community itself. I would like to say, as a business owner in this community, I am incredibly frustrated with the response of your public works director. I think that some comments that have been made publicly via email to business owners and to local residents has been inappropriate, and his lack of care for the progress, for access, and for the business owners is wildly inappropriate for a person in his position. That being stated, I do understand the complexity and I appreciate you very much. Thank you.
Adam St. Pierre. I want to start off and say thank you, Rick, for your 8 years. I appreciate you. We don't always get along, but we've always been kind to each other, I think. So thank you. And I do look forward to, seeing you around and being on the Parks and Trails and all that other stuff, like you said you were going to at today's work session. As for the Crooked Creek, and trying to extend the parking, I haven't really been paying a whole lot of close attention. I've been very busy at work. But I hear this number of about 30 parking spaces. That's the number I hear. What I compute that to is 60 customers. 60 customers at about $30 a customer. That's about what I spend every time I go out for dinner somewhere in this area. That's $1,800 a day. That's, 30 days in a month. We're talking some money here that's not being brought into our community to our business owners. What is it going to take? 50 bags of cold patch, maybe some lighting down there, a lighting tower. That happens to be my area of expertise. I'm an electrician. We shut down facilities all the time. We need to provide parking for people. We put light towers in, $500, $600 a month. It's not the end of the world. 6 months, $3,500, $3,600 times 2, $8 grand, $1,800, $8 grand. If that's thinking your budget on your construction project, there's something else going on there. So, let's just see what we can do to help our businesses out. It's Klondike, Plymouth, Crooked Creek, Big River Tap Room. I go to them all. I don't cook for myself at home. Come on, let's be real. So you know, I hear it in every establishment that I go to. Parking's a pain. Everybody hates it. I'm known, I drive through. If it's not open, I go somewhere else. That's kind of my MO, but you know, they need their businesses, they need their customers, and that's a lot of money every day at 30 spots at $60 a car, $1,800 that's one sitting. You rotate that 2 or 3 times a night, that money adds up pretty quick. So let's try to help our business out the best we can. And, you know, thank you all and Merry Christmas.
Would anybody else like to speak?
Hello again, Jenny Gilbert, St. Helens resident. I wasn't planning to speak again, but I want to address a couple issues from today's earlier session. I agree with Russ on the lighting by Crooked Creek and the bumper for the sewer plates. It seems like a super simple solution. The city stated they were worried about lawsuits with not having lighting to reopen the streets, but this worry already exists currently this evening. And it is currently a concern because people are going to Crooked Creek regardless, and it's extremely dark down there. I would argue the city could be sued right now if someone were hurt due to lack of lighting. I really think we should just get light poles up, fix the bumpers all around the sewer and go from there. I feel like it's a low cost solution and we don't need to spend that $40,000. Second, the interim, and I mean that he will not be staying in the city. He's not staying here. Interim School Supervisor Steve Webb addressed council earlier today, and he brought up bringing SROs back into the schools. I feel like this was a very odd issue to bring up, and it may not be the time and place. We already know, as seen in the 2024 budget meetings, we do not have resources for extra officers, let alone SROs. And SROs would not have prevented what went on in the schools if you check back on the timelines. I feel this was an out of place topic at an odd time to bring up what the St. Helens School District and its victims are facing. There are still reports coming into the police, and by no means is this horrific issue reaching a point to address something like SROs. I would ask City Council to stay focused on the issue at hand with the schools, even though it's not entirely in your realm of dealing with, and take any advice from any representative with a grain of salt right now, as we aren't sure what the fix to the situation will entail until everyone has spoken and the details are released by authorities. Lastly, Rick, I want to thank you for your service to our community and hope to see you actively involved down here. The city needs your experience and we value you. And I just appreciate you as mayor and stepping in all this time. Have a good night.
Hey, any others? Everybody on Zoom?
Stroke.
Hey, Shauna Stroop, if you want to go ahead and unmute yourself and state your name for the record, Shauna.
I'd like to announce myself as Shauna Strop Harrison. And I would like to just thank you for being the mayor for this last couple runs. And I just have a couple questions. I'm really curious on the massive curb improvements that happened in downtown St. Helens, which substantially, changed the parking in some ways, shapes and forms. I realize parking's a big hot topic issue today. But I'm just kind of curious, like what the design thought process was there. Going over some things and stuff. It was just something that I was kind of curious for, like, or if you guys can even tell me where I can find some more information about it. It just seemed kind of, it seemed like a lot. And, yeah, that was just my question. And, I wish you the best, Rick. I'm sure I'll see you around. And, I'm hopeful that everybody has a nice, safe, happy holiday and, see you in the new year.
Thank you. I can answer real fast for the curb improvement. The narrowing of that is designed to bring you down to 20 miles an hour, to put the citizens or the pedestrians in sight, and allow them to cross safer, but also slow. It's purposely narrows down like that to purposely slow down traffic to 20 miles an hour or less. They actually prefer less. But they will, a truck can get through there. It doesn't look like it, but they can.
Yeah, no, I drove down there. Yeah, I was just curious. So I appreciate the dialogue on that. And then one last thing, just because I'm confused and I don't want to be driving. So the ballards that are in between the city hall and the courthouse, you can drive one way through there. Is that going to continue to be like that, or is that eventually going to be just a walkway?
No, it's gonna be a one-way. The whole strand from Cowlitz all
Yep.
the way up to the courthouse will be one way.
Okay. Well, thank you for your service. Thanks for all your
I appreciate it,
dialogue.
Shauna. I
And
appreciate it so much.
likewise. And you guys take care and peace, love, health.
Yep,
All
you
right.
too.
Thanks.
Anybody else? Hey. Now, for Cooking Creek stuff, we have it as an action item later, so we're gonna wait to talk about that then. So, proclamation of acceptance of abstract of votes from November 5th, 2024 general election. November 8th, 2022 general election results for the city. Is that a typo? Two?
Oh, yeah.
November 8th, 2024 general election results for the city of St. Helens. Do I need to read it or do we just need to accept it? Accept it, Kathy,
You accept it.
I have the proclamation here.
Actually, the abstract of votes. Yeah, I guess you would make a motion to approve it or accept it.
I can make a motion.
Yeah, I'll make a motion to accept the proclamation as read by the mayor.
Second. Okay, motion's been made and seconded to approve the proclamation of abstract votes. Council President Chilton.
Aye.
Councilor Sundin.
Aye.
Councilor Gunnarsson. Aye. Councilor Hubbard.
Aye.
I'll be an aye as well. Okay, request for approval to attend executive sessions, consideration of the application of Kaylee Cassidy of Columbia County Spotlight to qualify as a representative of the news media to attend council executive sessions. Again, we talked about this earlier. She meets all the requirements. She submitted everything that she needed to. And she works at the Spotlight and by ORS. It should be a no-brainer.
I'll make a motion to request for approval to attend executive sessions. The consideration of the application of Caitlin Cassidy of the Columbia County Spotlight to qualify as a representative of the news media and to attend council executive sessions.
Second.
Okay, Council President Chilton.
Aye.
Councilor Sundin.
Aye.
Councilor Anderson.
Aye.
Councilor Hubbard.
Aye.
And I'm an aye as well. Okay, ordinance, this is the first reading, ordinance number 3306, an ordinance amending the St. Helens Municipal Code, chapters 17.6, 17.32, 17.60, 17.80, and 17 or 179.96 pertaining to multifamily development. Oregon House Bill 4064 regarding manufactured and prefabricated dwellings, Oregon House Bill 3395 regarding single room occupancy and other housekeeping amendments. Okay, approve and authorize for signature for agreement with Keller Williams, Sunset Coordinator, Lower Columbia Group for Realtor Services. 5, Third Amendment to agreement with Oregon Patrol Services for bailiff services. 6, extension of agreement with Wetland Solutions at Northwest LLC for wetland services. 7, extension of agreement with Moore Site Service LLC for construction and mechanical support at the St. Helens Industrial Park. 8, extension of agreement with Professional Mariner Services LLC for consulting to meet requirements for city vessel. 9, 8th Amendment to agreement with OTAC for the South First Street, Shannon Street Road Utility Extension Project number P-525. And 10, Amendment to number 1 agreement with Columbia County for safe boat sharing. And number 11, extension of agreement with Advantage JC Excavating LLC for services related to cleanup of various properties. 12, Second Amendment to contract with Moore Excavation for the South First and Strand Street and Utility Extension Project P-525. And Third Amendment to contract with Moore Excavation Inc. for South First Street, St. Helens Intersection Improvements Project R-685.
I'll make a motion to approve and or authorize for signature line items 4 through 13 as read.
Motion's been made and seconded to approve and authorize for signature 4 through 13, and I'm sure there's gonna be some discussion, so I open it up.
Number 8. We signed an agreement with them on, let's see, in October. We just did this, didn't we?
Yeah, it was an agreement. This is a time extension just because the communication back and forth with the Coast Guard is actually just got something back yesterday, sent it out today. Just not quite there yet.
Government slow.
So we have to pay them another year, or how does?
No, it's a time and materials basis and it's really
Oh.
very low amount.
And that's all for certifying the vote.
Our plan on the boat is then to put it into service, but we can't insure it, so. We'll have a boat that we could. Be a certified boat to sell.
This work is related to getting a certificate of inspection from the Coast Guard. So, which is very important to its value.
It is important.
Okay, any other discussion? All right, I have a motion that's been made and seconded to approve or not authorize for signature 4 through 13. Council President Chilton.
Aye.
Councilor Sundin.
Aye.
Councilor Gunderson.
Aye.
Councilor Hubbard. I'm an aye as well. Okay, appointments to city boards and commissions. Reappoint Lou Mason to the Budget Committee.
Make a motion to reappoint Lou Mason to the Budget Committee.
Second.
Okay, a motion's been made and seconded to reappoint Lou Mason to the Budget Committee. Council President Chilton.
Aye.
Councilor Sundin.
Aye.
Councilor Henderson. Councilor Hubbard. I'm an aye as well. Okay, second one, reappoint Jerry Belcher to the.
I'll make a motion to reappoint Jerry Belcher to the Park Control Commission.
Second.
Okay, motion's been made and seconded to appoint Jerry Belcher to the Parks and Trails Commission. Council President Chilton.
Aye.
Councilor Sundin.
Aye.
Councilor Gunderson.
Aye.
Councilor Hubbard. And I'm an aye as well. Okay, last one, appoint Reed Herman to the Planning Commission.
Motion to appoint Reed Herman to the Planning Commission.
Second.
Okay, motion's been made and seconded to appoint Reed Herman to the Planning Commission. Council President Chilton.
Aye.
Councilor Sundin.
Aye.
Councilor Gunderson. Councilor Hubbard.
Aye.
All right, and I'm an aye as well. Consent agenda for acceptance, planning commission minutes dated November 12th, 2024, library board minutes dated November 18th, 2024.
I'll make a motion to consent agenda for acceptance, line items 17 and 18 is read.
Second.
Okay, motion's been made and seconded to approve the minutes. Council President Chilton.
Aye.
Councilor Sundin.
Aye.
Councilor Gunderson. Councilor Hubbard. And I'm an aye as well. Consent agenda for approval, amended library board bylaws. 19, that was 20, purchase of new water filtration facility replacement modules from Trojan Technology Corp. In the amount of $250,000, $250,802.41 as budgeted in the 2024-2025 capital improvements plans. 21, proposed revision to communications officer job description. 22, proposed revisions of deputy city recorder job description. 23, proposed revision to administrative billing specialist job description. 24, proposed revision to building permit technician job description. 25, proposed revision to community development administrative assistant job description. And 26, request for proposal, an RFP document for forestry service management. And then 27, contract with Hamer Electric for repair of electrical services to the river pumps at the industrial park in the amount of $67,850. 28, contract to Clear Trail CPAS for audit services in the amount of $53,500 for fiscal year 2024-2025. $54,600 for fiscal year 25-26, and 55,700 for fiscal year 2026-2027. And 29, payable bill list.
I move that we approve consent agenda items 19 through 29 as read.
Second.
Okay, a motion's been made and seconded. Do we have any discussion? I think it was talked about, other than the audit services, I had just kind of a couple questions why we're paying for future years ahead of time. Is it just it's just the contract that won't actually be fiscally given until each year?
This is what for each year, that we don't pay for those upfront.
Okay, that's all I was wanting to know. All right, okay, motion's been made and seconded to approve 19 through 29 consent agenda for approval. Council President Chilton. Councilor Sundin.
Aye.
Councilor Gunderson.
Aye.
Councilor Hubbard.
Aye.
And I'm an aye as well. Okay, we had some work session items. If some councilors have those in front of them and would like to make a motion in a second, good to have some discussion on these.
The first one, so I moved to direct city staff to work with the commission, the Parks and Trails Commission to finalize proposed land and process for zoning. This is in I guess, let's get a second real quick.
Second.
So this is in reference to earlier, the planning commission or the Parks Commission came to us with an idea to look at building a new park or possibly a reserve at Milton Creek, which is next to the old Boise Cascade paper mill. And there used to be a park there, and there's a lot of great history and discussion if anybody's interested or if anybody's ventured out there. The thing that's really in question is not whether or not if it would make a great park. I think we would all agree with that, but how much and specific locations of the boundaries of the park. So to be continued if we all approve on it.
Yeah, I think it's a really good idea to set aside. It's a beautiful chunk of property that accesses our biggest park, McCormick Park. I think in moving forward, it sounds like Dana showed up and gave testimony that she'd like to see it go on your goals and be discussion topic for that too in your January 31st or 28th meeting. So I think we're all kind of had a little bit of a discussion. It was a 45-minute topic, which was only supposed to be 20 in our work session. So obviously, everybody's interested about it.
I think it's important to note that this is, with the exception of a few set aside plots of acreage for the Camas Fields, the old growth and the old park.
Yeah.
That's the part that we would be potentially changing. That would be considered a city park to me, at least that's what I'm hearing. The rest of it as a nature preserve is not necessarily something that's going to be like maintained by the Parks Department. Right, so it would be volunteer based, it would be, it would be essentially be a trail into the nature, into the woodland. So just for clarification, in case anybody's wondering, it's not technically a city park as the preserve or the reserve, but there would be some places that might be designated as a city park.
And there is further discussion that needs to happen with the city planner and planning commission about zoning, because that, that area is zoned for industry. So there's a lot of discussion that still has to happen about how that's gonna look and what that's gonna play out like. But I think the idea is just wanting to know that the council has a vision that shares this like-mindedness of the Parks Commission to, preserve that beautiful space. So.
In agreement with you, but they need to work in concert with planning and
Yes.
and
Absolutely.
and the parcels they've put together for the industrial property can be changed at this point in time, because nothing's sold except Arcadia. And so this would be the time to introduce what they want and work together. And yeah, I think it's gonna be a great asset for anybody building industrial out there, that employees can go for a walk down there and get out, and that's gonna be a real plus for it.
Company picnics. Company picnics.
Company picnics, you took me out there.
Yeah, I did.
About a year ago, Mayor. Yeah, well, you showed me the old park and everything like that.
Yeah,
And you showed me a spot where you kissed your first girl.
yeah. That's right.
You'll show anybody out there.
Flag there?
I know Brandon is on the Parks Commission, so I don't know if he wants to add anything. I know you've been a part of this kind of journey with them.
Yeah, I think they've done their homework. They've done a lot of hard work, and I think today was a great first step moving forward. So I'm excited to see where it goes.
Okay, so we had a motion that was made and seconded to set aside land specifically by I can't say specific land to be specified by the Parks and Trails, so and direct staff to assist the commissions with determining the size of the space.
Yeah, I think she left out set aside and
Yes.
replaced direct. So
Yep.
I
Okay.
worded it a little bit differently,
All right,
just to
so
try to
that-
make sure.
All right, perfect. Council President Chilton.
Aye.
Councilor Sundin.
Aye.
Councilor Gunderson.
Aye.
Councilor Hubbard.
Aye.
And I'm an aye as well. Okay, the next one up, would somebody would like to read that?
So one of the topics that we have been tossing around is the idea of hiring, should the city hire a contracted project manager to finish the street utilities project? And I think we should. So I'm gonna make a motion. I move to direct staff to add on to a current contract with OTAC, who we already have contracted, for hiring a project manager to finish the streets and utility project, and just taking on that responsibility versus Public Works.
I'll second that motion.
So, okay, motion's been made and seconded for that. I just want to speak a little bit on this, that what the Public Works Engineering Department has been doing with this project is not even in their scope of work. This has cost the taxpayers $0 to do this. They are not the contractors. They are not the engineers who drew up the design, if you don't like the narrow streets. What they do is they actually manage project as far as inspections. So that being said, for 4 months, it's gonna cost us $150,000. It was never in their scope of work, their job description to take care of this. They did it because they care about the city, the quality of the work. And the reason they did make them tear out stuff is it didn't meet a standard. Which you could potentially with the project manager, potentially get some, I would hope not, but you don't know who you're dealing with. But David Lynch seems to be solid. But you could have corners cut, whereas there was no corners cut. So I want to thank Mohammed, Sharon, and they will still have to do some inspections, and Alex for all their hard work in managing this project. They probably, if 150,000 is 4 months and the project's been going on for exactly 2 years. Hasn't been several years. It's been exactly 2. Within a year, we've had a number of setbacks. Starting with oil tanks, unforeseen. Gas lines barely underneath where they're supposed to be a lot deeper, had to stop. The oil tank was a big one. The magnolia tree, we were potentially gonna get sued if that tree died, and that's an expensive big magnolia. Had to stop there. Had water line breakage. We've had valve failures. And we've had a brand new pump that was supposed set to come on, had some issues. All these are setbacks that have probably with timelines, there is timelines on every one of them. because they meet every other Tuesday. Probably about the 5 months that we're out. Just so everybody knows, okay? I know there was a report of concrete being torn out again across from a particular business. Again, they have these grates for ADA. And it was obviously somebody had hit it in the construction process. And it went like this, and it was noticeable to the naked eye. And our engineering said, that's not acceptable. It didn't cost the city nothing. Said it was unacceptable. Tear it back out. We cannot control contractors bumping a box that was set for a pour and then they go ahead and pour and then it's noticed after the fact. It's impossible for any project manager to keep up on every employee out there who may have bumped something or got something off, hit a stake and pushed a form out an inch or two until after the fact. So, I just want to state that for the record that there's been about $2 million savings. If you're doing 150 for 4 months worth of work. 2 years would be probably about, well, it would be about close to $2 million worth of savings. So I want to thank them for all their hard efforts. Council President Chilton.
Aye.
Councilor Sundin.
Aye.
Councilor Gunderson.
Aye.
Councilor Hubbard.
No.
Okay, and I'm a no as well. Okay, now we've got one more there, or actually two more. Do I want to read the motion?
I move that staff work with the contractor to open the South First Street further south to allow 3 more parking spaces on each side for a total of 6 as determined by engineering.
Second.
Okay, motion's been made and seconded to approve to move it down 3 spaces, and I understand that it already has. And it was explained earlier why, because of lighting, that it's not like the city's targeting anybody and not just lighting, but it's still a very active construction zone of why the fence is placed where it's at. And we got a bid from the contractor of $224,000 from MEI. If we open that up and they have to do all these things, and 4 months from now, this is what it's gonna cost us, $224,000. So still a very active constructive site. Again, we started this project not quite 2 years ago. It's real close to 2 years. It was a 2-year project. Everybody's known about it. It was to get in and get out. For literally appears to be 5 months out from being done with this project. 5 months longer than we expected. We could have drug it all out for 10 years. And I bet that we'd probably had just as many complaints, but we're coming up on 5 months from being done. And it's not a drug out process. It's get in, get out. Old aging infrastructure, we got brand new water lines, sewer lines, gas lines now, because we had to put them in. Those are new now. Had to lower them. Storm, new sidewalks, new asphalt. The asphalt cannot be poured at a cold temperature, otherwise we have what happened out there, which was not our project, out there at Broadleaf Arbor. That was cold weather asphalt, and it was rough, and we made them come back out and grind it. So you can only asphalt certain times a year. And it's still not finished. There's still some concrete and some telephone poles that have to be pulled. All that is the underground pipes in. We have to have the last people, which is Lumen. We heard today again, telecommunications, put their stuff in, and then they can start getting pulled. So, yeah. I don't know what else we could do. There obviously, the problem still exists, even being moved earlier. So this is a discussion for you guys. I will not be sitting here after tonight. And this is a discussion for you guys. 6 spots have already been opened up. They went down immediately after our meeting, moved them back to where they felt they could comfortably with the lighting. And I would just say, me and Mark did come down and have dinner 2 Wednesdays ago. We didn't think we were ever gonna get a table, thought we were gonna have to sit at the bar. We finally looked around the corner and Adam St. Pierre was actually there eating too. But it was packed on a Wednesday night with the parking the way it was. I'm not trying to be like that guy. But I was down there supporting. Had a fabulous meal. And then I think we had to come back. Can we come back here for more meetings? Yes. So, you know, we're at the finish, close to the finish line. We understand. We get it. But our engineering is doing they're doing what's best for the citizens. So, but that's for you guys to decide.
Well, and I just want to say, like, I don't think that this council's intentions are to ignore people or not answer people back. In fact, I want to defend the public works director because I don't think that's his intention either. I think our job up here is to rely on our employees and our staff. I'm not a road paver. I don't build cities. I don't do infrastructure. I work in senior living. That's what I do for a living. So I have to rely on our professionals and the data that they give us, and the data and the information that they give us is what we rely on as a council to make decisions. That's what our job is to do. So we're making the best decisions that we can based off the information that we're provided with. And, yeah, I mean, I can't speak for the rest of you guys, but I'm sure you guys feel the same, that we are not experts. I mean, Russ might be a little bit of an expert, but a light post, I heard a light post was $500. We have a quote here for $75,000. So who am I to argue with this guy from MEI? We're a government body. I'm just, yeah, this is what we have to work with.
Yeah, light plants per month, you'll need 5 of them. You'll need 5 of them, and it's unit price of 15,000. And then a total extension of 75. So they're saying 5, 2 light plants included per month. Yeah, the actual plants. But again, we're trying to get undergrounded power, I think, and pull those poles, and the PUD will be working on that too. So it's still an active site down there. Is there probably some gouging here? Probably, but I would agree. But
Well, I do build roads. And there's $26,000 in there to put asphalt around manholes. I gave John a spec sheet on a rubber that's made to do that same job. So $26,000, we might be in the, 6,000 or less. Things like that. I just see it as a workout. We're gonna give them 6 spaces. I think the rest of it could be opened up, but that's gonna be discussion for next time around. It's already done, the spaces, so. The street's already in existence in front of his place, identical to what you'd give him another block for. And it's just not him gonna use it. He's got other customers around here. I've had restaurants. It's very important to get those people in the door.
absolutely.
And he's just opened up for food too, so he's just expanding his operation, and I can see, anything that would help him. If we can do something for him, but we should take another look at it. You don't have to worry about it.
I don't. But I do, because it is my tax dollars.
Yeah,
It is my tax dollars. So that's what, it's not, and that's why I spoke earlier, the way I did, is because I got passionate, is because I think there's been talks about, other people not handling it right. Well, I don't think this whole thing's been handled really all that well. We all have known this construction project was gonna happen. For about the last 5 years, 6 years. I implemented the urban renewal 7 years ago. And this was identified in it. Once the urban renewal got intact and we seen there were some funding going in, we thought, oh, great, let's start drawing this up. We did that, then industry left. We got hit hard with that. That set us back. Took a huge blow in taxes there. That was Armstrong, by the way. Then we continue to move forward and think, oh, great, it's looking good. Then we have Cascade hit us. They're gone. You know, it's been a struggle but we've all known about this project. Anybody who's been down here has known about it for a long, long time. And the council made a decision. And even the public was like, this, do it all at once. We'd rather you have it get in, get out than have this thing draw out for 10 years, because that's what this is. It's a 10-year project. If you do one intersection at a time and you underground and then you pull a pole and you have Comcast come move their pipes because they have to move them and put in a sleeve. You have to have CenturyLink do theirs. You have to have Lumen, who's been one of the ones that was a struggle, put theirs in. Every contractor has to put in their own pipe. It's this is really what has been happening. Into a trench, and that goes into a vault and goes underground. And if we had that, all these little projects, and we had to deal with that, it would literally be a 10-year project. So again, we're getting close to the finish line. St. Helens is a great place to live. We're gonna be able to celebrate a ribbon cutting on that waterfront come May. And I know it's been a struggle. I hear you loud and clear. We all do. We have to deal with it too. This is where we end up. You know, we have to make some tough decisions that are really, but we have to also consider all citizens. We do serve 14,500 citizens. We have to be fiscally responsible and making our decisions. So not an easy job, but we did sign up to do it. It has been a pleasure sitting up here as mayor, even when you have these tough decisions. And it feels like there's been a lot of, sometimes it feels like you're being pushed to the point where it's bullying on Facebook. I'm just going to be honest. This is my last meeting. And we are human beings and have emotions too. Yes, we signed up for it. And yes, we are not, you have every right, and so do I, come January 1, of anybody who's sitting up here to speak how I want to about that person. It's your First Amendment right. And I look forward to that too, but more in a constructive pattern. To actually bring things to light that probably people weren't aware of. So I won't have to be so quiet either. Works both ways. So, old saying, what comes around goes around. Karma is a bitch. Those are true in my 52 years of being on this earth. So, I don't think there's really, we can vote on it, but I think it's been done. What can be done to the point, it's already done. So is there even a reason to vote?
Yeah, I didn't know what was happening.
Okay, motion, we're gonna vote and just say no because we've already have a motion made and seconded. Can we just take it off the table, Kathy, or do we have to?
You can take it off.
Okay, motion is off. All right, should the city lease the vacants? Oh, somebody wanna make the last motion here?
That'd be me.
Yeah.
Should the city lease the vacant space at the Columbia Center adjacent to the makerspace? I will move to approve leasing the vacant space at the Columbia Learning Center to use and to expand the makerspace.
Second.
Okay, motion's been made and seconded to approve leasing the maker and expanding the maker space at the Columbia Learning Center. Sounds very affordable. It's citizen. I don't think there's really much discussion.
One of the goals of our city
Yep.
is to expand learning opportunities that could potentially bring job creation, and that's what the makerspace is intended to do. And it's cost effective to the city, and I think it's gonna be a great asset.
Hey, Council President Chilton,
Bye.
Councilor Sunday, Councilor Gunderson, Councilor Hubbard, and I'm an aye as well. Okay, we'll go ahead and do council reports. President Chilton.
I'm gonna say a bunch of stuff, you know, but John already mentioned how I'm involved with the senior center, just trying to keep my eye on senior center and what's happening, of course, the school district and all those things. But I want to just, you know, take a few minutes to tell you, thank you for all of your guidance. We talked a little bit earlier in your kind of going away party, but there's not a lot of people that I've met in St. Helens that love St. Helens as much as you do, that know as many people in St. Helens as you do. I can still walk into Safeway and not know anybody, but I don't think you could ever say that at this point. So it's been an honor to work alongside you. You have done a lot of great things for the city, and I hope we still see your face around here.
Thank you. Councilor Sunday.
Just a couple of things. I wanted to just say how much I enjoyed our Christmas Ships event. This past weekend, I thought it was great. Good turnout and lots of happy people. And weather cooperated until the downpour about 7:30. So just a really overall good evening. I do want to thank our Public Works and Engineering crew for all that they do and all that they have done. Believe me, I understand what it's like to just be here trying to do your best and just get torn up and beat up, and it's no fun. So I appreciate all the work that they've done, and I do think they're a very talented group, and appreciate everything that they do. Speaking of appreciation, I just want to let you know, Rick, I appreciate you. It's been an honor working with you and getting to know you, and I know you like to say a lot, you're only one vote. You're not any more important than the rest of us here, but in some ways, I don't think that's quite true, because when people think of St. Helens, they don't think of me, they think of you. And I think Patrick Berkeley stated it pretty well, that you're our biggest cheerleader, and don't take offense, but I think you're our best mascot too. So. I think about it though, you're the only mayor my kids know. I've got a 10-year-old and a 12-year-old now, and when they think of the mayor, they think of Mayor Rick. About 6 months into this, I started to panic a little bit, and I thought, you know, I don't think this is for me. I don't like people being mean to me. Didn't have very thick skin, and I called Rick and said, I think I'm done. And he talked me into sticking around, and I'm glad that you did. So you know how much I enjoy history, and you are the history of St. Helens now. You're part of the St. Helens story. So never doubted that your heart was in the right place. You're passionate, and like I said, it's just been an honor to work with you, and look forward to working with you on future projects. So thanks for your service.
Thank you, Brandon, for all you do. Yes. Yeah, what's there not to like about St. Helens? I tell people, why not St. Helens? We are an hour and a half from Mount Hood. We're an hour and a half from the coast. We got the Columbia River right out here. I mean, if we want big city shopping, it's only 45 minutes away over the hill.
Make a commercial
Yeah,
for you.
I mean, why not? There's lots of fish in the river, right, Joe? Live to fish another day. Council Gunderson.
Kind of like Brandon and I are kind of the same boat. Both came in at the same time. We both about 4 to 6 months in, we're saying, I remember having these conversations. We're like, we made for this. And it was fortunately that we had somebody like you and Council President Chilton to kind of talk us off the ledge, and Mr. Walsh as well. I appreciate everything you've done. You've been fair, you've been honest. I consider you a friend, and one of these days we'll actually get to go fishing, which I've hinted at numerous times. Kind of nice just to be able to hang out as friends after all this, because after all this work, after these 2 years and seeing what you've done over the last 8 years, I've been very impressed, and want to thank you for all that you've done for the city.
Thank you.
I'd also like to give a shout out to our engineering department. I don't want to let anybody leave anybody out. I'm not just bringing up the engineering department. our public works and forgetting about the police department or any of the other communities. But they've had a real tough go of this, and I know it's worn heavily on them. And I want them to understand that I appreciate, I think the whole council appreciates what they've done. And that it's been noticed, at least it's been noticed by me. So thank you all, Mohammed and Sharon and the rest of the crew. I appreciate it.
All right, Counselor Hubbard.
Yeah, I suggest everybody go by and look at the new makerspace. I'm sure you're gonna get busy on that. They got the go ahead. It's an exciting endeavor with for the library to bring more people in and teach and it's just a good example the city can do. Expand that library and such great people that are working there that are helping all the citizens. Yeah, Rick, I got yelled at, you yelled at me, but you know, that's the way it is. I'm just getting thicker skin now, I guess. So,
That's politics, right? That's what he used to tell
well,
us.
I didn't realize that politics, I never considered that as joining up for politics, but no, good 8 years and enjoy your retirement building homes, I think. Yeah, so Merry Christmas to everybody and Happy New Year.
Okay, yes, so, you know, I just, again, want to thank every counselor that has been part of the city since I've been here. Want to thank them. It's truly been a we and not a me the entire time. And, you know, I wanted to just come into this, going out, being me, not letting my head swell. And I feel I've done that. And I've always been honest and upfront and, always gave my opinions. You said, you know, I'm kind of a little bit disappointed that, over the fact that, there's a number of things going on that need to be investigated and be done. And you know, there was one that particular that that were an accusation on myself and Mr. Walsh. And Mr. Walsh, I want to thank you, John, as administrator. I've been with you the entire time. You're very good at your job. A little passive, but other than that, you are being humble is not always a bad thing because I can stick my foot in my mouth. But we were never clear to this Pantygate that went to Coin 6. It was a Christmas party that happened that where pictures were taken. We had to recuse ourselves. It happened the party was probably 6 years ago. And the pictures were taken here and sent to only one department head. And then from there, 4 years later, they mysteriously appeared. And they went to a nonprofit that actually CC'd every, the Coin 6, everything else. And I sat up here, wasn't even part of the gift exchange. And the accusations were that I intimidated this girl from John Walsh into putting on these panties over her pants. Ridiculous. If you know me, absolutely ridiculous. If you know John, we were never, ever cleared through that whole process. You guys took it over from there with Peter Hicks, our attorney. We've never been cleared. And I think there's some other things. And I'm hoping, my hopes are this. And it's not a hope, because I'm going to continue to follow it, is that whatever comes from the investigation, there should be a clear and now non-redacted report on what happened. I know I have yet to be interviewed. That was really frustrating. Jenny Gilbert spoke that it has been a month and a half. It's taken forever. I want to know what's going on too. But yet here I'm going out of office, not knowing, and never was clear to that. Whatever become of that? You guys took it in an executive session and never came out. We were never cleared. A man is only as good as his word. And the clear objective is to have, when you do a Google search, to have that try to pop up on mine and his record. And I think even furthermore, is the objective. I think there's other things that have been done. That's absolutely not okay. Politics is a very brutal, necessary business. How we get here, there's a right way and a wrong way. And especially if you claim to be transparent, then my expectations are that that report is fully, when it is done, is released to the public, nothing redacted. And I'm talking to you guys. And I will be a citizen come January 1. Where I'm no longer bound by our executive session stuff. Okay, that's the difference. So that being said, it needed to be said. We have never been cleared and there's been further things. And you got a good city administrator here. And like I said, I'm not upset about losing the election. One door closes and the next one opens. I'm gonna live here. I'm gonna go out there in the public and hold my head up high because I'm honest and I am transparent. I wear my heart on my sleeve. What I know is that when it comes to the uniform and wearing the uniform, it demands respect, honesty, and the truth. And I hope that's what comes with being a police officer. That's exactly what comes with it. And I don't know, but those are the qualities that brings. I want to see that report. So, in all transparency, that is my final word because it's on the record. I'm not gonna probably go make TikTok videos. I've been kind of joking about it. Probably not, but I'm also gonna be not being vocal and transparent to defend myself, my name, or anybody else in the process. We're adjourned.